What is up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live breakdown this upcoming XFL four-game slate for Saturday. Before we get like button for me, definitely subscribe. I'm excited about this XFL. I think it's going to be really interesting, especially for week one, because we don't really know a whole bunch of what's going to happen, especially with offensive schemes, snaps, everything like that. I do have the XFL draft pulled up so we can kind of see who was drafted where, so we can kind of adjust. Like I said, I'm excited about this slate though. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great slate. I think it's going to be pretty cool to see some former NFL players in the mix, like Joshua Gordon, like AJ McCarron, like Ben DiNucci. There's a lot of like skilled players that didn't make it out in the NFL that are looking for another shot. If you want to count the sixth shot that Josh Gordon has, I mean, be my guest. But we'll see. But I'm excited about this slate. Let's start it off with Las Vegas at Arlington. I'm a big, obviously, I'm biased with my Arlington team, but on the Las Vegas side, I believe it's going to be Brett Hundley starting. I don't see why Brett Hundley wouldn't start. He signed his contract on the 6th. He's like I said, it's so far been a little over a week. So I like that they signed him. I think he's going to be interesting at 9-4 at the price tag that he is at. It's going to be either him or Luis Perez. I kind of seen Luis Perez bounce around in the past. Um, but I don't mind Brett Hundley. There's a lot of high price quarterbacks, but on the running back side, they only have 3. So big deal is you're going to want to look at the guys who only have like a couple running backs because it's all about time. It's kind of like what preseason. That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry, I just got off work, so my mind's kind of scattered. It's like preseason NFL where snaps matters. You want all the guys that are going to see the most snaps. So that's where I'm kind of going with it. If you want to look at Rod Smith, I don't mind him at the price tag of 7-3. Let's see where he was. Yeah, he was drafted in the 9th round. And then you have also Torrey, who I don't mind him. I think he's the cheaper back. Like I said, I think if you want to take a shot on somebody, it's going to be Torrey just based off the price tag. But look at the receivers. We have Martavius Bryant. You remember him? Oh, so I think he's going to be highly owned. I like the upside he brings to the table at 8-9. He's definitely someone you're going to want to look at. I don't mind going to him at 8-9. And then Jeff Badette, we know we saw him in the past in the XFL and the USFL. I don't mind going to him. His price tag, Geronimo Allison, kind of the former Packer. I don't mind going to him either at 7,000. And then it's pretty much the main guys I'm looking at. And then let's go to Arlington. So on the Arlington side, Slaughter, he's a familiar name. We saw him in the past, obviously. At 10-3, he's going to be a pocket passer. I think he's definitely going to be starting over Drew Pilit. I don't mind going to Slaughter in a pass-heavy offense. And then looking at the running backs, Killins is the guy I want to take a peek at because he was just traded to this team. If we look at where he was drafted, he was drafted in the first round. So they're going to want to give him time. At 7-4, I like going to him. The receivers options, nobody really is just standing out to me other than Canella. At 5-4, we saw him have a big season last season. He's the main guy I want to go to. He's the best tight end on the slate. I love going to him. Winningham, he's fast in the slot. He used to be a Jaguar. I like going to him also. If you want to look at Manning, that's just the interesting one I want to talk about because I think he was drafted highly. Yeah, Samira Manning. So I remember him. Funny story. I live around where Charlton, where the school Charlton is. So I remember watching him. I like what he did at Charlton. I think I really like him because I kind of have a personal bias with him. I remember watching him play at Charlton Stadium when I used to go to the game. So I kind of have a personal bias again, but I like him at 8,000 also. And then let's go to Orlando. At Houston Orlando side, Patrick Lynch, Paxton Lynch, and DeAndre Francois. We remember Francois from his college days. We know he's a runner. We know Paxton Lynch is a runner. So depending on who starts, I think it's going to be Paxton Lynch, but I wouldn't mind either one. And then this is where it gets fun. There's only 2 running backs. So one of them is going to think it snaps. I like both of them. Just if you want to load up on Darlington at the cheaper price tag, be my guest at 3-5. And then if you remember Cody Lattimore, he used to be on the Broncos and the Giants. He was just okay. Eli Rogers, remember him on the Steelers. He had a couple, I'd say 1 or 2 good seasons. But and then Rambo, obviously the highest priced guy. They drafted him pretty highly. I like going to him. On the Houston side, though, I believe it's going to be Silvers. He's got also kind of a pocket passer. He's cheap. I don't mind going to him. Again, he's a cheap quarterback. So if you want to look at him, I don't mind going to him. But like I said, I'll kind of wrap everything up position by position whenever we get there. Running back, there's a lot of options. That's the problem. Is there's just too many options for me. I don't really want to go to a 6-headed monster. And then look at the receivers. Maybe some Cedric Bird. I don't mind going to him at the 5.3 price that is cheap. If you want to look at Cedric Bird, he was drafted in 6. I don't think he was even drafted. I don't think he was drafted. I don't remember though. I'll have to look at that. But St. Louis and San Antonio on the St. Louis side, AJ McCarron, obviously the highest priced option. He's going to be a gunslinger, especially in this offense. I like going to him at the running back side. Again, you can go to any of these guys. I'm going to take the cheaper option at Brian Hill, kind of in the middle, because like I said, looking at Brian Hill in the 6th round, and then Durant, 4th round out of Duke. I remember him at Duke. He looked good at Duke also. So receivers, Aitman, you can go to him at 9.2 with the AJ McCarron little stack. Pearl, if you remember him from last season. Shepard is a familiar name in the NFL. But let's go to San Antonio. On the San Antonio side, Jack Cohen, I believe he will be starting. It is already confirmed. He was out of Notre Dame. He's not really a highly anticipated guy. I'm not really getting too much of him, but he is cheap at 85. Patrick and Balaj will be splitting the snaps, I believe. I like Balaj at 4.8. He looked good sometime. He looked good occasionally in the NFL. And then TJ Vasher, a former Texas Tech guy, went to the Cowboys practice squad. I remember playing him in at preseason. 5.2. He's a big receiver, but he's big. He's a big receiver. He used to play the slot also, and he was passing the slot, so I don't mind going to him. But let's go to the last game in Seattle and DC. On the Seattle side, Ben DiNucci, 9.8. It wasn't really special for the Cowboys, obviously. Running backs, nobody really stands out to me, honestly. Receivers, you have Josh Gordon. He's getting up there in age, though. He's going to be probably high on the field. But it is what it is at 9,000. If you want to go with the mini stack with him, I don't mind it. And then on the DC side, Jordan Tiamu, I believe he will be starting at 9.6. High priced quarterback, but he's very mobile. The first pick in the draft, Abram, I like him at 7.9. And then Zard looks good at 7.3. Puka Williams, he's kind of all over the field. He's cheap. I like him. But to kind of wrap this slate up, at the receivers wise, I like Puka, like I just talked about. I like going to some of Allison. I wouldn't mind going to him. If you want to look at some of Canella at 5.4, Vasher looks good also. On the running back side, Darrington down low, I like him. Patrick 7.8 looks good. If you want to go to Killens at 7.4, he's in play. And then quarterback wise, if we're going to spin up, I'm going to spin up for probably AJ McCarron as a gunslinger. If I want a running quarterback, I'm going to look at probably Hunley. I'm going to look at some of Jordan Tiamu at 9.6. The lowest I'm going to go is Silver's at 8.2, but that is kind of what I'm looking at for the slate. It's a week 1, play light. We don't really know what the coaches are going to do just yet. But that wraps up the slate for us, though. Thank you for tuning in. It was a great CFS tonight. Have a good one, everybody.